Hello and welcome to our mini-series on teaching math through computer science. The following videos are specific to the Alberta Program of Studies referencing the K-9 mathematics curriculum and the proposed Career and Technology Foundations curriculum, also called CTF. This CTF curriculum is designed to support flexible interdisciplinary learning. Our specific focus here, or occupational area as described in CTF, is computer science. We'll be doing this through our Scratch programming environment, and we have some other resources that we'll share later on. The learning outcomes of the math curriculum taught here are to identify and plot points in a Cartesian coordinate system and to perform single and combination transformations, including reflections, translations, rotations, scale, and congruence versus similarity. These concepts are not explicitly taught often when teaching Scratch programming, but they're inherently part of the Scratch environment. So once learned, students can create solutions through coding and play, which will allow them to develop multiple literacies simultaneously, including reading, mathematics, and technological literacies. We also have a section, these literacies, specifically the technology literacy, can be further promoted by encouraging teachers and students to look at the online resource we've created, DLR Raspberry Pi .weebly.com. So when we're looking at this website, there's an entire section here on Raspberry Pi that shows how to use the Scratch programming environment on the Kano operating system. So when this project is taught through the Raspberry Pi, it really shows how different areas can be tied together in a cross-curricular fashion, as it teaches hardware setup, software setup, and to further this, the Kano operating system has a built-in gamification or leveling system that will help students new to programming track their progress as they learn their new skills. Now let's get on to the first video. The first lesson in the series deals with this, setting up the Scratch environment so that students can recognize the Cartesian coordinate system and figure out how to work with the XY pairs built in. If you need extra support, there are other Scratch learning videos on our resource, but let's get going with this one. So the very first thing that we want to do is take a look at the stage here. The stage is the world, and right now it's just a white background that my character or sprite is living in. So I'm going to go ahead and just move that sprite so that you can see when I make a change to the stage or the world, what it looks like. So I click on stage, I come up to the background for that stage, and rather than drawing my own, I'm still going to go into edit, but no, I'm going to import the default XY grid. And if we look, that's perfect for what we want to use. We have our Cartesian coordinate system, 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants, and we have our built-in XY pairs as starting points to show the students the range of this system. So quadrant 1 has X going from 0 to positive 240 and Y going from 0 to 180. Quadrant 2, still 180 on the Y-axis, but negative 240 on the left. Quadrant 3, negative 240 to negative 180, X and Y respectively. And quadrant 4, negative 180, all the way over to 240 positive on the X. So 4 quadrants, origin point of 0, 0 in the middle, exactly what we're looking for. I click OK, and we can see that that comes right into our stage. Now the other thing that we want to do is we want to just set up our sprite as something that's easy to work with on transformations. So the cat does show a lot of these, but I'm going to edit this sprite as well. So of the costumes, when I click on the sprite and the costumes tab, there's 2 default costumes here. I'm going to get rid of one and just edit the first one. I'm going to clear that cat and do just a default empty box. I'm going to make it directional by adding in an arrow so we can see what's happening as we do our transformations. And maybe just another thing in the bottom corner to help with that directionality. A little bit of color, so we'll fill that in. And maybe a green arrow. I click OK. Couple small things to change just before we save our template and move on to the rest of the series is we always want to name our sprites. So I'm just going to name this SPR shape, as this is the default shape that we'll be working with as we go through the template, and file, save as a template for transformations. And I guess I should spell that properly. All right, that's our first video. Thanks very much, and goodbye.